maybe it does mean, maybe it might,
Right.
maybe it might.
This fight is so close, they're so closely knitted that you got to look for all the small pieces because the small things are what going to add up to somebody winning the fight.
And fight a guy who might put him in a dogfight, a real one, for the first time in his career.
When we get put in that position, we go find opposition to make that happen. You understand me? So when we go looking for the opposition, we're not concerned about how big they are, how fast they are, how strong they are. We feel like we got enough that we can bring to the table with anybody.
But skill for skill, as far as equality, to me, Bud and Canelo are equal because we're in their career.
The thing I like about Teo's style, I mean, when you have a guy like Shakur whose defense is that good, and he's not just a guy who's going to hug you, he can box, you know? The easiest thing in the world is just to pick him against everybody.
Right.
Yes.
But Teo also has the kind of footwork, Malik, where he steps around.
When two of boxing's best minds sit down to break apart a fight, you better listen. Roy Jones Jr. and Max Kellerman just did exactly that for Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, and what they said might surprise you. This fight is happening January 31st at Madison Square Garden in New York. Both fighters are young, hungry, and ready to prove something. But here's the thing, this matchup is so close that every little detail matters. Every move, every punch, every decision could be the difference between winning and losing. Roy Jones Jr. knows a thing or two about fighting. He's been there, he's done it all, and when he talks about this fight, he keeps it simple. He says both fighters are equal right now, not because they're the same, but because they're at the same point in their careers. They're both trying to prove they belong at the top.
But they just haven't been around long enough to prove themselves yet. But skill for skill, as far as equality, to me, Bud and Canelo are equal because we're in their career, because how accomplished they are. These two guys are also equal when they're in their career, because they're accomplished, but not as accomplished as these two. But they're still equal accomplished. You understand me? So those are two good damn fights.
Max Kellerman sees it differently, though. He thinks about the pressure. Shakur Stevenson is undefeated. Everyone expects him to win. People are already calling him the next pound-for-pound champion. That's a lot of weight on his shoulders. But Teofimo Lopez, he's already lost before. He came back from that loss to George Kambosos. So if he loses again, people will say he lost before. But if he wins, everything changes for him.
He's the undefeated fighter. He's seen as the eventual pound-for-pound champ, potentially. But Teo has more to win. He has more to gain. So on the one hand, is there an advantage there where Shakur is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy? On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before. He lost to Kambosos, and he came back from that. But oh my God, if he can pull it off. Like, if it's a close fight and Teo can keep it close and we're going into the 10th, 11th, 12th rounds, is there an advantage there, given that situation?
He came back from that Kambosos fight, but in some way, the jury is still out on Teo a little bit, because I'm gonna tell you what, on that card that was done in Times Square, he looked the best out of, with all due respect, out of a lot of people that didn't look.
Max puts it like this: Shakur has more to lose, Teofimo has more to gain. That's the mental part of boxing that people forget about. Teofimo can fight with more freedom because the pressure isn't crushing him. He can take chances, he can be wild, and sometimes that's exactly what wins fights. Let's talk about how these guys actually fight. Teofimo Lopez moves different. He doesn't just walk forward and throw punches. He steps around you. He creates angles that are hard to deal with. Max Kellerman compared him to Meldrick Taylor fighting Buddy McGirt. Meldrick had feet quick enough to give angles that made things difficult. That's what Teofimo can do.
Just have to be honest with the way I see it. I don't think that was the best version of Teo by a long shot. But even then, he was rallying in that fight late. He has championship heart. And the thing I like about Teo's style, I mean, when you have a guy like Shakur whose defense is that good, and he's not just a guy who's gonna hug you, he can box, you know? The easiest thing in the world is just to pick him against everybody.
Right. Yes.
But Teo also has the kind of footwork, Malik, where he steps around guys. And I think about Buddy McGirt, Meldrick Taylor.
Yes.
Roy, you know, where Meldrick had quick enough feet where if you were going to come right at Buddy McGirt, he could box you. But Meldrick could give him angles that were more difficult. I think of Roy Jones, James.
Roy Jones Jr. agrees with that. He says when you have someone like Shakur, whose defense is that good, you need someone who can move. You need footwork. You need angles. And Teofimo has exactly that. He's not just standing there waiting. He's moving. He's thinking. He's setting traps. But Shakur Stevenson is a different kind of problem. Tim Bradley broke it down perfectly. He said it's all about the feet, not the punches, the feet, because your feet get you in position to land shots, and Shakur is a master at controlling distance. He's a master at taking away your position. When he does that, he takes away your ability to throw effective punches. Bradley noticed something specific about Teofimo. Before Teofimo explodes with power, there's a tiny pause. It's subtle, but it's there, and Shakur will see it. The moment Shakur sees that pause, he knows something's coming. So what does he do? Teofimo takes a big step in. Shakur takes a big step back. Just like that, Teofimo's punch misses. He falls short, and Shakur is already setting up his counter.
When I look at both these guys and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw with the amount of power that he has, you know, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. You know, fast, you know, twitchy type muscles, you know, fibers, you know, he's extremely fast.
That's the chess match. Teofimo wants to explode into contact. He wants to land big shots, but Shakur wants to control the space between them. He wants to make Teofimo miss. He wants to frustrate him, and when fighters get frustrated, they make mistakes. Now let's talk about what Teofimo himself is saying. He's confident, really confident. He's been training his mind just as much as his body. He says boxing is all about mindset. It's about muscle memory. It's about trying different things in training to see what works. And when you find what works, you have to know when to use it. If you don't build that muscle memory now, it can hurt you on fight night.
Mentally prepared with the audience? Are you mentally going to be prepared with the certain punch selection? There's things that I have to maintain as well. Those are things that I have to work on within myself. It's a muscle. Think of it like condiments, right? You got your ketchup, you got your mustard, you got all these type of condiments, but you don't know if you like it or not unless you try it. And I think the same thing applies when it comes to getting prepared for certain things like this. Pretty much you have to try different things, different steps, different routines, different ways to see what really fits and works for you. And if they all fit and work for you, when is the right time to apply them? And it's a muscle memory that you have to create now. If you don't create now, it can harm you the day of the fight. The mentality part of it is going to really be the key moment for who wins that night. I'm that type of person, truly, that type of person that focuses on being.
Teofimo also talked about Shakur's weight. He thinks Shakur was best at the lower weights. At 123 to 126 pounds, Shakur was flawless. At 135 pounds, Teofimo thinks was Shakur's top level. But at 140 pounds, Teofimo isn't sure. He said, "We just gotta wait and see." That's a smart observation, because moving up in weight is always risky. Your body changes, your power might not carry, your speed might not be the same. Shakur Stevenson is taking this fight very seriously. He's training in Colorado Springs at high altitude. That's where Terrence Crawford trains. The thin air makes everything harder. Your lungs burn, your body gets tired faster. But when you come down to normal altitude for the fight, you feel like a superhero. Your conditioning is through the roof. That's the edge Shakur is building.
Right at that chest, it's coming, it's coming.
That was 9 rounds of sparring. I ain't gonna tell y'all the minutes, but yeah, I'm preparing to my fullest. Putting in a lot of work and getting ready.
Training with Shakur is amazing. A guy like me been knowing Shakur for over 10 years now. The boxing world know that we brothers and we'll never fight each other. And just being around him in his camp, man, it's nothing but positive energy. And everybody wanting to be great. He's like my big brother, man. Like, he is my big brother, honestly. You know, he got all the wisdom in the world, especially when it comes to defense. So he's just making sure I stay sharp on my defense and not getting hit.
And speaking of Terrence Crawford, he's been in the gym with Shakur. Bud Crawford is one of the best fighters in the world. Having him in your corner, giving you advice, sparring with you, that's priceless. Crawford even said publicly that Shakur is going to beat Teofimo badly. When a legend like Crawford says that, people pay attention. Floyd Mayweather also got involved. Floyd showed up to Shakur's gym during sparring. He gave advice, he showed little tricks, and Shakur said it meant everything to him. Having Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Crawford backing you is like having two boxing professors teaching you their secrets. But here's where it gets interesting. Mike Tyson has been working with Teofimo Lopez. Yes, Iron Mike himself. Videos came out showing Tyson in Teofimo's camp, running drills, teaching the peekaboo style, coaching reflexes. That's the old school craft. That's battle-tested technique from one of the most feared fighters ever.
A lot of boxing, a lot of sparring, all the physical straining, running, lifting weights, that's beautiful. But you need to practice on what you have to do, and you have to box. So you should do as much boxing as possible leading up to the fight.
Who am I? You know, who am I to the people? You know, I have a kid now, like I said before. Honestly, it's just that fatherhood time. You know, I haven't yet spent much more time with my son as I would want to. He'll understand that as he gets older. If I can see, like, how can I change and how can I give my son more knowledge rather than luxury things, then I'm gonna do that. You know, and the take back is really just about inspiring others like we always do, and grabbing everything, becoming a 2-time undisputed world champion, breaking history and making more records, doing things that people have yet to see. And I'm just grateful to even be here, honestly.
You're hitting the bag, right? I see you hitting them on your whoop. I want you to do like this with them. Boom, 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 boom. Just keep for boom, 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 boom. How long you can do that? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The combination, boom, like punch. Boom, 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 boom.
And of course, hard work pays off. So this is where it shows. And yeah, man, I think that's the hardest part, though, is taking it all in. I think that's the hardest part, taking it all in. Because I want more. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied yet. I need more.
What else more you want? What, is more boxing can give you?
I need to put my foot in their neck, Mike.
Oh, you want to hurt people? I
want to hurt them.
That's a good one.
You know what? You know what I love about you, Mike? Is that right there. You always wanted your foot on their neck. I love that because it's the best feeling, man.
That's what the believe it or not, that's what the people want.
Yeah, of course.
People want that.
When Mike Tyson teaches you how to slip punches, how to counter, how to use compact defense, that changes things. Teofimo isn't the same fighter who walked into that gym. He's absorbing knowledge from a legend, and that makes this fight even more unpredictable. Jermaine Ortiz actually fought Teofimo Lopez before, so he knows firsthand what Teofimo brings to the ring. And you know what Ortiz said? He said Shakur will win. He thinks Shakur will box Teofimo out easily. That's coming from someone who felt Teofimo's power, someone who trained specifically for him, someone who knows the challenge. Ortiz said it's going to be hard for Teofimo to get punches off on Shakur. Not impossible, just hard. That's honest boxing talk. No drama, no exaggeration, just the truth. Antonio Tarver gave a different perspective. He said the smart money is on Shakur to win by decision, but Teofimo is a live underdog. That means he's dangerous. He can't be counted out. Tarver said Teofimo still has speed, strength, and explosiveness. Those natural gifts don't disappear. One opening is all Teofimo needs to change the entire fight.
Both possess Yeah, I mean, smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward around 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, a big question is always like what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko or against Josh Taylor, fights to the level of his competition. And I've been thinking like, hey, if we get the best version of Teo, like the Teo that showed up for those fights, does that Teo beat the best Shakur?
It would have, I think that's the only chance he got, is to really be his ultra self, doing all the things that makes him Teofimo Lopez. The footwork could be a major advantage for him. Being able to get inside. A lot of times he fights free. He don't really have a style. He does what it takes. And he's a gutsy fighter. Real gutsy. He's not going to be leery to take chances. He's a gambler in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's a live underdog, I would say. A live underdog, but if he's to win this fight, I think he has to probably...
Zab Judah called it a collision of two dog fighters. He said neither man will lay down. It's going to be skill versus skill. And while he thinks Shakur's skills will overwhelm Teofimo, he also admitted the fight will be closer than people think. Both fighters are too talented, too proud, too hungry to make it easy. Mickey Bay brought up an interesting point about mindset. He compared Shakur to fighters who were gym rats, guys who live in the gym, guys who love the sport so much they can't stay away. He said that's hard to beat. You can't outwork someone who's in love with boxing, and Shakur is that guy. He's always training, always improving, always thinking about the next move. Robert Garcia said this fight will test heart, not just skill, heart. He said the winner will be the smarter fighter, the one who plays the better cards, the one who doesn't make mistakes. It might not be the most exciting, action-packed fight, but every exchange will matter. Fans will be on the edge of their seats, waiting to see who lands the decisive punch.
Guys that represent New York and New Jersey, respectively, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson getting together. What do you think about that matchup?
That's a great matchup, man. Both fighters are great fighters, very talented. Teofimo has had some great performances, great wins. Shakur is also a 3-division champion, going for his 4th. Unbelievable talent. It's a fight where we're going to see talent from both. But we also have to see heart. That who has that heart to become.
At the press conference, things got heated. Shakur said Teofimo is a high-level fighter, but not on his level. He said Teofimo is seeking attention with wild comments and racist remarks. Shakur stayed calm, but made it clear, January 31st, all that talk will backfire. Teofimo fired back. He questioned Shakur's resume. He said Shakur hasn't fought elite opposition. He pointed out that being undefeated doesn't mean everything if you haven't been tested. The tension was real. At one point, they almost had to be separated. Eddie Hearn, the promoter, said Shakur is massively underrated. At 28 years old, Shakur is already a 3-division world champion. Winning a 4th division title would be remarkable. And the best part? They're both in their prime. We're not watching two old fighters past their best. We're watching two young lions at their peak. So who wins? That's the question everyone's asking. Some experts pick Shakur because of his defense, his IQ, his control. Others pick Teofimo because of his power, his unpredictability, his ability to rise when counted out. The odds might favor Shakur slightly, maybe 60-40, but this isn't a safe fight for either man. One mistake changes everything. One perfectly timed punch, one emotional decision, one break in focus. That's all it takes. This fight will come down to who can execute their plan better, Who can stay disciplined under pressure? Who can make the other man uncomfortable? January 31st at Madison Square Garden, we'll find out. Shakur Stevenson's precision and control against Teofimo Lopez's power and explosiveness. Two different styles, two different mindsets, one ring, one winner.